Hello, this is Excel, and welcome to the final part of my Shadow Priest UI guide. In the previous video, we were mainly focused on the center of the screen with tracking things like insanity, abilities that are part of your rotation, and important cooldowns. Here we will be touching on some of the other add-ons to help augment your gameplay. Let's start with Weakauras. Even if you don't make your own Weakauras, I still recommend that you get this add-on because there are plenty out there and they're already made. You can fill in for, things that may be missing, like maybe something a boss mod might miss, or something you want to draw your attention a different way with a sound or something like that. So, as with any add-on, the more important the information is, the closer to the center of your screen it should be. So we'll go ahead and open up Weakauras really quickly here. So I just have a few Weakauras. We won't really go over too many of them. I have just basically a fixate, maybe a couple dot trackers and insanity bar, some things that can fill in for boss mods. But the important thing here is if you don't make your own Weakauras, this import right here, whenever you want to import a Weakaura, just import a Weakaura. You paste the text from the paste bin or wherever you got it, or Weakauras allows you to import if you're on the same server pretty easily. And that's a really good way to get Weakauras from somebody that may have one that you might use. Alright, so let's go over boss mods. I use Bigwigs, so we will be using that as an example. Bigwigs, pretty easy to set up. The first thing I recommend is you toggle your anchors, and there's two different things for Bigwigs. So there's bars and there's emphasized bars. The bars are just when the cooldown has more than 10 seconds left on it, so it's information you might want, but not super immediate information. And emphasized bars is when it's 10 seconds or less. And then you have other information here. So things like corruption or whatever. So those are just sorted over here. So drag these to where you want. So you want to put the bars kind of a little bit out of the way, and you want the emphasized bars a little bit maybe closer to where you are. So once you're done positioning those, you can retoggle the anchors and then just create a test bar, and it will show you, it'll count down for you, and it'll show you kind of what the raid cooldowns will look like when they're active. Alright. The next part that's fairly important is you go to the Raid Bosses tab, and then if you're having problems with a specific mechanic, what I recommend you do is go to that boss, or find that ability rather with that boss, and you can just emphasize things. So for example, let's take Hell Yeah and say I really want to track Biowater Breath because I'm really bad about maybe standing in breath or something like that. So you just go here, and then you have the option to emphasize that. So it'll emphasize it, and you can also add an audio countdown to it. So when it gets close to the timer, it'll start counting down for you, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's actually pretty useful for grabbing your attention if audio cues are kind of your thing. Right, we'll do a quick overview of the side. So this is information that is not super relevant to the current gameplay of your character, but still is nice to be able to see. And this is the type of information that you want, but it'll be also the type of information that you may wait until between pulls before you start going through it. So damage meters, or just information that's important to have but not important for you to have. So maybe some features of boss mods that are a little bit less important, and also I have my raid frames over here. As Shadow, I have different raid frames than when I heal, because when I heal they're a little more important. So when I heal they're a little bit bigger, a little bit more centered. When I'm DPSing, they're as small as I can make them, and they're just off in the bottom corner here. Alright, finally, last but not least, we'll talk about nameplates. Now this is probably one of the most important parts of your Shadow Priest UI, because if set up properly, this will allow you to multi-dot like a boss. So I use tidy plates and tidy plate threat plates. So tidy plates is the base add-on, and threat plates is kind of an add-on package for it. So first thing you want to do is open up tidy plates with /tidy plates, and all you need to do here, go to the theme and change it to threat plates. That's it. Now to start editing the nameplates, type in /tptp, so tidy plates threat plates. This will bring up a different menu. Now you can do all sorts of adjustments. You can set the sizes, you can set the offsets, the colors, all sorts of things, the alpha, which is the fading, the scaling, plenty of options. The important one though that we're going to go over right now is widgets. So we're going to go to widgets and then auras, and what we're trying to do here is make it so that our dots display over on top of our nameplates, and this is what's going to help us multi-dot. So you scroll all the way to the bottom, select the whitelist and mine only. If you just select whitelist, any shadow priest that puts dots on something will register on your nameplate settings, so you just want to only show yours because you only really care about yours. So whitelist it and then just whitelist your 2 dots. When you're done entering, hit accept and then close. And then once you start dotting stuff up, you'll see that you now have a way to track dots right on top of your nameplates. So without having anything targeted, without having a focus, pretty easy to keep your dots maintained. Again, all sorts of settings you can change here. Just play around with it. The main thing, like I said, that you needed to know was just widgets, auras, and then scroll to the bottom and make sure that your dots appear over the nameplates. Once you have that, you can mess around with the other settings, tweak it to your liking, and it should be a lot easier for you to keep track of dots on multiple targets, especially in mythic dungeons or even on raid bosses with a lot of ads like Odin. If you have any questions or thoughts on this video, please leave your feedback in the comments section below. That concludes this guide. Thanks for watching.